humans generally, as a race, tend to flock towards each other, flock towards the need for recognition. You may believe yourself to be the exception to the rule. And to that I say, if it is sincerely working for you, bully for you, good for you. But if it isn't, feel free to drop a comment. I'll try to be hyper vigilant about this one. If you see the forced like on your video, that'll be me recognizing you, interacting with you. I haven't done one of these in a bit, which is concerning, because this is meant to be a daily exercise. Good morning, this is 10 Minute Talks, where I talk for 10 minutes and upload whatever is usable. Today I wanted to talk about interactions. I was inspired looking through YouTube comments, which is a statement very rarely uttered. I think, in general, to post anything on the internet is a interesting little experiment. Maybe I'm too mindful of what I put on the internet, given that I grew up when parents would actually moderate their kids' internet usage with the knowledge in mind that employers might look at our social media. But I always find it interesting looking at YouTube comments and seeing people interaction bait to say either their catchphrases from the actual video or show or channel and speak to that, or say something that would be incredibly resonant for the sake of being seen and messaged. Better yet, I think what's more interesting is the edit, "Thank you for all the comments and likes." Right? Internet clout does not necessarily translate into real life. The very, very few ways that it does is when people are able to leverage their online clout for in real life prizes such as money or food or sponsorships. But aside of that, most people on the internet are commenting for a specific kind of currency, interactions. I think posting on public forums, on places where you might be noticed aside of your immediate friend and fan base, is interesting. Growing up on Facebook, we had these engagement traps too. These interaction traps too. People would post things with the intention of getting liked. Only now that YouTube comments include, in and of themselves, likes and such, people can really play the game. Ask to be pinned, ask to be hearted, for the intention of being seen, for the intention of being interacted with. And I think that's interesting. I think online interaction might have been one of the few ways people felt outward affirmation during the pandemic. In lieu of being able to chat somebody up at the bar, or in the park, or spontaneously engage with individuals, they find that these 15 seconds of fame amid a certain group is enough to fulfill them and give them a kind of ego boost. Not to mention that a lot of men in the modern era are incredibly touch-starved, incredibly affection-starved, and it just feels good to be told that you did a good job, or to have your good job be measured through metrics. It can help the security of a lot of young men and women to look at their posts and see that there's a steady stream of upvotes and the like. And what am I doing this for if not for interaction? If not specifically through likes and through being watched, through being commented at, and through being able to interact with all of you. I specifically enjoy my Twitch because of the immediacy of the interaction. That being said, I feel as though they're a bit cheap, aren't they? Recently, I've been taking it upon myself to maintain and expand on the relationships I already have instead of finding new folk, which admittedly is only an addition of 2 or 3 more people, but that's more than I usually allow into my heart and into my space. And in that, I'm finding myself in a place that I used to be 5-7 years ago, staying up a little late with people in call, non-stop yapping or chatting when we should be doing homework or working on another project. I hope I don't forget it. I hope that interaction isn't as fleeting in my mind as the interactions of posting something on the internet or in messages. Because in the minds of some folk, that is as good as life gets. Being able to interact with somebody who you could say you love, platonically or otherwise, and being able to share the time with them, being able to engage with them, is, for some people, as good as it gets. And it's not necessarily a low bar even. It's very hard to create meaningful relationships, even nowadays, especially nowadays. You never really know what somebody else is trying to do with or for you. You can never really be sure whether somebody has your best interests at heart. And I think I don't want to say aura, because that means something else now. The idea that hangs heavy over the heads of so many people right now is who can you meaningfully trust? Who can you meaningfully let your hair down around without something going wrong? All of us hate drama. It keeps happening. I'd rather live a drama-free life from here on, but it keeps happening. And to that extent, it might be safer just not to interact with anyone. But what kind of life is that? Even at our most stalwart, at our most stoic, at our most by ourselves, we are still searching for interaction. Still searching for somebody to search back at us, poke us, give us a horn, tell us why we were so right or so wrong. Unless you are a perfect lurker, your very existence on the internet is an invitation for camaraderie and interaction. Your open public existence, posting your selfies, messaging about and commenting on people who you feel as though are your friends. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a cry for help, but it is a cry for something. And as a serial lurker for a good 20-something years of my life, finally posting things on the internet has been an interesting thing. Interesting experiment. The fact of the matter is, as solitary as you can be, there is that craving. You want to see more out of the peers you have. And there are exceptions. There are cases aside of the rule. But I think humans generally, as a race, tend to flock towards each other. Flock towards the need for recognition. It's on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, even if I recall correctly. Security in one's place. Security in one's place in the social hierarchy and standing. Knowing that you fulfill a role within your immediate group. You may believe yourself to be the exception to the rule. And to that I say, if it is sincerely working for you, bully for you, good for you. But if it isn't, feel free to drop a comment. I'll try to be hyper vigilant about this one. If you see the forced like on your video, that'll be me recognizing you, interacting with you. Ding ding ding, 10 minutes.